It's May 6th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a desperate escape after years of captivity, a mysterious death surrounded by questions, and a disaster that turned the sky to fire. Let's begin. On May 6, 2013, a terrified woman burst out of a rundown house in Cleveland, Ohio, clutching a little girl no one knew existed. For nearly 10 years, the world believed Amanda Berry was dead. The same was true for Gina De Jesus and Michelle Knight. Their missing persons posters had faded with time, and their names slowly became cold cases buried beneath new tragedies. But behind the walls of 2207 Seymour Avenue, the three women were still alive. Inside the house, a former school bus driver, Ariel Castro, kept them chained in rooms, starving them, beating them, and controlling every second of their lives. Neighbors later said they had no idea what was hidden beneath that quiet home. That afternoon, something changed. Castro accidentally left the door unlocked before leaving the house. Amanda saw her chance, and she pushed through the crack in the door and began screaming for help. A neighbor named Charles Ramsey rushed over to help her break free, and moments later, he called 911. Police entered the house, and they uncovered one of the most horrifying captivity cases in American history. 3 women who had vanished years earlier were finally found alive, and Castro would later plead guilty to hundreds of charges, only to die in prison months later. But even now, that nightmare inside that house still haunts Cleveland to this day. The most terrifying part of the story is that people would walk by that house for years without ever knowing what was happening inside. On May 6, 1937, hundreds of people stood beneath the darkening skies of Lakehurst, New Jersey, waiting to witness the arrival of the largest airship ever built. Floating silently above them was the German Zeppelin Hindenburg. It was an 804-foot giant that looked less like a machine and more like something otherworldly. The airship had just crossed the Atlantic after a 3-day journey from Frankfurt. Passengers dressed in fine clothing peering down from the windows as the ground crew prepared to dock the massive vessel. But as cloud storms drifted overhead, something went terribly wrong. At exactly 7:25 p.m., a faint glow appeared near the tail of the ship. Within seconds, the entire airship was engulfed in flames. Hydrogen gas racing through the structure turned it into a burning skeleton suspended in the sky. Witnesses watched in horror as people jumped from the collapsing inferno, falling dozens of feet to the ground. The radio announcer, Herb Morrison, screamed the words that would echo through history, "Oh, the humanity." And in just 30 seconds, the most luxurious airship ever created was reduced to metal and ash. 36 people died, but somehow 62 survived the inferno. The exact spark that ignited the hydrogen is still debated today, adding a lingering mystery to one of the world's most haunting disasters. Because in that night, the age of the Zeppelin ended in flames. On May 6, 1996, search crews moved through the cold marshlands of South Maryland, discovering a body of a man who once knew some of the darkest secrets in the world. Floating in the water was William Colby, former director of the CIA. Just days earlier, the 76-year-old intelligent veteran had vanished during a solo canoe trip near his riverside home. When his neighbors noticed his canoe overturned, drifting empty in the water, alarms spread quickly. Colby was not an ordinary missing person. During the Cold War, he oversaw covert operations, secret missions, and some of the most controversial intelligence programs in American history. He knew things that few people were ever supposed to know. For 8 days, helicopters searched the riverbanks, while drivers combed through the murky water. Then, on May 6th, his body was found in the marsh not too far from where he disappeared. Officials ruled the death accidental, believing Colby may have suffered a heart attack while canoeing alone at night. But almost immediately, conspiracy theories exploded. Some believed the former CIA director had been silenced. Others questioned why such an experienced outdoorsman had paddled into the dangerous waters after dark without telling anyone. No evidence of foul play was ever found. Still, many people believe that the mysterious death remains unsettling. When a man who spent his life surrounded by secrets dies alone in the water, the questions will never fully disappear. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.